Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Office Hours. As always, I am joined by the wonderful Flo. How are we, Flo?
All good, thank you, Matthew. And you, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am good as always. Excited to be back again. Every week I say I'll get the elevator music ready, but it's still in the backlog.
We should definitely work on a playlist.
Hey, Jan. Hey, Mo. I'll put a link for you in the chat, Mo. You can join us and you can share your screen. Jan is in here first, so we shall switch to Jan.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Jan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, good, thank you. It's not something. It's not something complicated, but strange things I have in my editor. Let me share my screen. This one. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yes.
As you can see here, I have a form. Here in my forms, when I go to variables, I have the form variable with my form data, and I have all my inputs except the date picker, date time picker. So I can explain why I have all input except this one.
This might be actually something we haven't catered for in the form. I haven't encountered this one before. Do you know it, Flo?
Normally, this one should work, but we might have an issue. Which date picker it is? Can you tell us?
It's the classic one. I put it. No, it's this one, date and time picker.
Okay, well, I should definitely take a look. This one should be displayed in the form also. Meanwhile, what you can do is to I don't remember if we can update ourselves the internal variable of the form. I do it. Give me just one sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I can see, by the way, I can see the input of the date of birth picker here, but it's outside of this from data. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let me test this. Sorry for the time. I still need a second just to be sure. Okay, so yeah, we need to fix it. I'm really sorry for this. So yeah, for the time being, you're gonna have to add the key value yourself when you use the.
Yeah, it's what I did. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but we are
Another
going to fix it. I'm going to create
Another
a ticket.
thing strange on the also on a form here. This one, it's even more strange because in the form data, I just have a surname, which is an input I don't even have in my form.
If you refresh the page, is it the same?
Yeah, yes. No, it's always the same. It's not just. I can refresh it if you want, but
Okay.
it won't change.
And you don't have any input with the surname as
No.
a field name.
No. Here you can see in my layout, I have pet, patient, date, which is a date picker. Yeah.
It's not taking the name of the layout element. It's something on the setting. So could you just click on the on each one of them? And yeah, on the setting, yeah. And
yeah,
then you need to Can you click on one of the inputs? Yes. Not that one. No. It's only select. Can you check the last one, the note one? Yes, this one you see you've got field names.
Yes, surname. Oh,
so this one is coming from here.
good job.
Okay, yeah, I think we need to do two things. So first, fix the date input within a form, and the second one is to add, I think, about a component action, so you could update that variable yourself by adding a workflow on change, for example.
But any idea why none of my select inputs are not in the form also?
Yeah, because those select are not standard, I think. Is it the advanced select?
Yes.
Yes, this is why. So basically, this way of working, it's using the standard elements that we listen to within the form container. So that's why. So not all
the inputs I take an
not
account
all
in
inputs
the
are
form.
working.
Okay.
Yeah, and we should definitely find a way to tell you. So that's why you need a way to
update the form.
Yes, the form variable just on change. So basically, you would click on the select, create a workflow on change, and update the form variable. It would be easier. But yeah.
I don't know how I did it because I didn't pick it here.
Yeah, in here, I think if you wish to move forward, basically you would have to create the variable yourself, and then on the select, you can create a workflow on this one.
No, yes, here
and on change you update the variable. Yeah, so you cannot update really the form here, unfortunately. But what you can do is to create the variable yourself. So what you can do is to go to data. We can do it.
Yeah, so you create all the variable for all the inputs you have on the.
Yeah, you can only just one variable, but we can do it ourselves. So can you go to data? Yeah. And here you create a variable. You can call it form data, and you make it an object.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then on you can keep it like this.
Yeah.
And so on your select in here, I see yes. Okay, perfect. You go to change variable value, and here you select form data. Okay, and you do a partial update. Yes.
Yeah.
Got this on, and here you type in. I think it was.
I can because I want
the name of the key. No. The path is really the key, so you need to type it yourself.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So you can unbind and you type. You give the key you want. So it was R, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And then the value is the event. So you need to go to
Yeah.
not to the lightning tab. No, the best way when you are doing a workflow like this, you can do it like this, but you go to the lightning tab, the
Lighting. Ah, yes.
yes, this
This
one.
one?
And here, yeah,
The
and here
events.
you use the event, yeah, the value. Yeah, absolutely. And so now if you click preview and you select something, now you can on the variable on the left, you should see one key on form data on the left, really on the left panel.
We don't see here. Okay. No, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't see the event. Yeah, absolutely. But in here, I think I saw it really below. You've got form project and form data. Yeah, and here you should see your value.
Okay, so each time I'm gonna update one of the input selects, you're gonna add it in the object, and at the end, when I submit the form, I take this variable to send the data.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
That's the elegant workaround.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's fine. So I don't need to worry now for the form data to not be the correct reflect on what I have in my form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can do it like this, indeed. For the time being, for the time we fix the issue you have with the date picker.
Another update from WeWeb. Great.
Yes.
That's fine. Okay, cool.
Super.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Jan.
Thank you.
And I've made a note to update the docs for the applicable elements in the form. So thank you for that, Jan. Next in the list was Mo. He joined us second, so we will hop over to Mo.
Hey guys, good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we've got you. Can you hear us?
Yep, wonderful, awesome. I'm gonna just put it up on my screen now. Give me a sec. All right, let me know when you guys see it.
Yes, we've got you.
All right, awesome. Some sort of basic stuff here. So I'm just wondering, how do I get this sidebar and the top navigation? Those I want them on the rest of the pages that I have. I tried prompting the AI to do it, and I also tried copying and pasting it, but it's not working.
So the best case for these would be to use what's termed a multi-page section. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with them.
No, I have no coding experience, so.
Yeah, no worries. It's so the first thing I guess to check here is if you open up the layout tree on the left, so we can see the elements. I think right now you've got the pages, and I think you could just click out of this. So you click on the page itself inside.
Yep.
So you can click onto an element. Yeah.
This one right here. Okay. Yep.
And then I can't actually. They are sections. I think your screen is just slightly too large for us to see the far left-hand side. We can't actually see the very edge of the layout tree.
Okay, one sec.
Oh, there we go. Cool. You have a cool. You have a navigation section, and what's the so the sidebar isn't a section. Okay, that might be a bit of a problem. So you can see that you have a section for the navigation, but the sidebar navigation it's not actually a section. It's a div inside of a section, basically, which means you couldn't create a multi-page section out of it, but we could start with the navigation section. So if you could go onto a page where you want to reuse this top bar, so the top navigation.
Sure. Yep.
And it's probably best to do this first one manually, and then I think you could ask the AI to do it afterwards, because then it will know there's multi-page sections being used. So if you go to add, so you open the add panel in the top.
Right here, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the far left-hand side, it's the last one, so the fourth tab down, sorry, on the left of this.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Multi-page sections?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it was on the dashboard page. So if you open up the dashboard page, accordion.
Like click onto it, or just the drop down?
Yep, there we go. And now if you drag the navigation section onto your page, you can just drag it to the top. And then you'll want to create an instance. I'll explain what this is in a second.
Okay.
Cool. So what you've just done with the multi-page sections is, you can see it's blue on the left. You had the option to create an instance or create a copy. If you had have created a copy, it would have basically copied and pasted it, and anything you do to this, what you would have pasted onto your page, wouldn't have affected the other ones. However, because you've now created an instance, any edits you make will affect the other copies. So just to show you a quick example, if you click the logo in the top left of this navigation section, yeah, it could be that, could be the text, whatever it might be. And then as an example, if you were to open the display on the right-hand side, so in the styling, sorry.
The styling, yes.
Could be or the opacity, if you put the opacity to 0 in the effects. Yeah, if you put it to 0, just to show you what I mean. The opacity, sorry.
Sure.
And if you now go back to the dashboard page, it's also hidden that logo. So whenever you use these multi-page sections across pages, any edits you make to it will reflect on every other time you're using that multi-page section. So I just say that for context. So if you want now, you could put the opacity back to 1, and if you were to do it on this page, it would also update the other page. So it doesn't really matter what page you do it on.
Oh, okay. So, okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
And so now you've created this multi-page section. I think, again, it's tricky because the left sidebar wasn't a section. So you might need to potentially change how this is set up from a styling standpoint. But let's see, actually. So maybe we could try with the AI. So if you were to press add here, oh, sorry, back on that page.
Should I go back to the other page?
Yeah. We'll try and.
Or you can do it here just by clicking on it and ask to make it a section, maybe.
For the sidebar. Okay, that's actually a good point. If we go back onto the dashboard page, sorry, and I'm moving around everywhere. If we go back to the dashboard page and we can see if the AI can do it for us.
Okay.
So if you expand the main content section on the left, we can pass in what it is we're trying to do as context, maybe.
You want to say the prompt that I'm putting in or no?
Yeah, it just I think it'd be good to, what was the exact name of the thing you're trying to turn into a section? Just so the AI knows exactly what to do. It might be good to.
Yeah.
Or you can.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Hold on. So this is the sidebar navigation, right? Is that what, that's what I would call it, right? Okay, so I would tell it to. Okay. Yeah. So.
And by clicking on it, if you see just above your prompt, you pass that into the context, so AI will know what you are talking about.
Just one thing quickly, Mo, before you send this, it might be best to start a new chat, just so it doesn't have context of everything you've done to this point. That might.
Oh, that was okay. That was going to be another question for you guys. How do I start a new chat?
Okay. It's just there's a plus icon in the top right. You don't have to get rid of this, by the way. It will carry it over when you create a new chat.
Oh, okay. On the top right. Oh, the plus. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, gotcha. All right, so.
It might be best to change the wording slightly. So instead of could you generate, because it will generate a new one, could you turn the sidebar navigation into a section? Sorry, Flo, I cut you off there.
No, please. No worries.
So is that good to go, this prompt?
I think so. Do you think it'd be also good to pass it in as context flow, or do you think it might restrict it somewhat because then it might not?
Yeah, it's always good to put the context.
Yeah. Okay, if you click on.
I was just going to ask, and if I wanted to reflect on all the pages, is that something I could tell to do, or do I have to do it one by one for each section, like each page?
Yeah, you would have to do it one by one for now.
Okay, all right, that's fine, as long as it works. So while that's loading, I did have another question for you guys. I've been noticing, while I've been working on this, I've been noticing that whenever I prompt the AI tool to do something for me, it doesn't. It'll repeat itself that it's going to do this action, and then sometimes I keep saying yes, like it's asking me permission. I say yes, and then it keeps repeating itself, and then sometimes it'll say, oh, it's done it, but I don't see the change. Could that be because I'm not opening up a new page?
Sometimes opening a new chat is a way to to fix this, but this is something we are working on. So we are going to release in the coming weeks a new version of AI, and normally this should happen really less often, or not at all.
Got it. Okay.
But this is something.
Yeah,
we know,
but okay.
Sometimes AI is lying.
No, but this is actually good because it does, like, I just feel like that every day that I do something, whenever like I'm creating giving it prompts in like a new page, it does it, but then once I want it to do more things, it just kind of like stops, and it's so maybe I'll add a new chat every time. Maybe that'll kind of fix.
Okay, so sorry, go on, Flo.
Yeah, don't execute this. I think
I think it's worked, but it's done something a bit odd. So if you click onto the navigation section on the left, so it has created a new section on the left. Oh, sorry, the one beneath it. Yeah, so there's a navigation menu. So there's something in here, but for some reason it's not visible. So if we click, go on, Flo. Do you know already what it is?
I think AI tried to animate the sidebar by default.
Okay.
So I guess that's why. Could you click just preview just to check something?
Sure. Do you want to also refresh?
No, don't refresh, because if you do that, we won't be able to undo what AI did at one point.
Okay.
So just yeah, well, I let you go on, Matthew, but I think you wanted to check where it is and maybe remove a merging or something like this.
Yeah, I think if you could put it back into edit mode and then click, let's go one by one down. So if you first click onto the navigation section on the left and the section, sorry, just the one above it.
Oh, this one right
that
here?
That one, yeah. Yeah, and then you go into the styling. So if you click onto the pencil icon in the top right, instead of, sorry, it's not the pencil icon anymore, it's the edit button. Yeah. And then if you open up the display, so we'll have to check each of these. So, okay, display is on. If you scroll to the very bottom, just to make sure it hasn't applied any custom CSS or anything. The very bottom. I think it's the
last one, right? Yeah.
Okay, it's the overflow. That's all good. Okay, if you go on to the next one, sorry. So the navigation menu, inside the section. Yep. Do you click onto it? So we can see the styling. Okay, if you keep all of these expanded for now, it might be best. So if you just keep the display expanded and then also the layout expanded. In styling on the right hand. Yeah, if you keep them expanded for now. So if you keep sizing expanded.
Sorry,
just near the top. If you just click onto sizing.
Sizing,
there's a yeah, and then you click onto layout as well above it.
Layout, yep. Oh, you want me to keep those open like that? Okay.
Yeah, just because it's probably where the culprit is going to be. Okay, cool. I think that one's fine. Okay. If we move on to the, although it's odd because I think they should be showing now.
The CSS, yeah? This is different from what we saw in the last one, right? This wasn't the same value.
No, so it's the CSS gets applied to whatever element you're on. So the CSS we saw before would have only been applied to the navigation section. This one doesn't have any custom CSS, but it shouldn't matter too much. I don't think the CSS we saw before would have been the culprit here.
Okay, gotcha. You want to continue going down?
Yeah, if you click onto one of these, we won't need to click onto all of them, but let's see if there's something here. Okay, so the display is bound. If you click onto the state at the top, so there's a state drop down at the very top. Yep. It just says state. Yep. Okay, it's just a hover state. If you click onto the hover state just to see, for some reason it's because the display has a blue marker. Okay. So if you click on the state drop down once more, and then go to default. So we'll set it back to the default state. If you can, so we know the display is bound right now because there's a blue marker beside it. You see where it says display flex, there's a blue dot, so it's bound. If you click onto display, so where the blue dot is, yeah, if you click onto that, and then you just reset this
Hit
just to see.
style, reset style. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, no, if you get rid of the hover state. So if you click onto hover text here, you see where it says blue and it's blue text for hover?
Yep,
Okay.
gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, and then scroll to the very bottom, sorry, of this. I don't think this is the culprit, but just to make sure before we go back up. Okay, this is odd. If you go back onto navigation menu on the left, so now the one above this, we know it's not the ones further down because they're all in kind of the same nesting. They're all part of the same layer. So yeah, so it's going to be the one above it or the one above this, I think. So click onto navigation menu. And then, sorry, once more, navigation section above this. So on the far left, we will get rid of that custom CSS you saw. Let's get rid of it just in case. So if you scroll to the very bottom.
This one right here?
Yeah, if you delete that custom CSS, just to check. Okay, cool. And then if you scroll to the very top, we've got display. If you click on display, the drop down, sorry, on the right. So it says it's a block at the minute. If you click, sorry, if you open it back up and you click on block.
Oh, block, yep.
If you put it to flex. No. And then you, the height is currently bound. Could you click on the height for me in the sizing?
Click on the formula, edit formula?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, this is very odd. Okay, one last thing just to make sure that it's not something to do with the positioning. If you scroll to the very bottom of this, the styling panel on the right. So the position was fixed. Let's change it to be, where's the positioning gone? I think it might have been in spacing. In the
so get out of this.
Yeah,
here?
so yeah. One of these panels that isn't open at the bottom, it will be inside of one of these at the very beneath this. Sorry, it's advanced. If you open advanced.
Advanced, sure.
Overflow is unset. Okay, if we put the click on the position drop down to the right of this and put it to normal. Okay, so now we can see it. That's very odd. Okay, and if you undo this, so if you press the undo, there's an arrow in the top at the back. Yeah, if you undo it, so it sets it back to where we couldn't see it. So now we know it's the position. So if you undo this, and now let's mess around with this. So zero is fixed. If you put the z-axis to on the right hand side, there's a z-axis. If you put that to on, just beneath the fixed position, just beneath the fixed position, there's a z-axis toggle beneath these. Sorry, so beneath top, bottom, left, and right. So beneath all of these ones.
Z-axis. Yep.
If you put that to on, so this will basically bring it up in kind of the layering.
Ah, okay.
There we go. Okay.
That was the issue.
Okay, well, there we go. Well, it's solved anyway.
Yeah.
So it took a while, but we got there. So now you could, if you go onto your second page, so the one we originally put the top nav on. And so now let's see if AI can do it. So I think you could ask just to actually check the name of the section. So it was navigation section. Tell you what, if you go back to your other page, sorry again, it might be better to just change the naming of them. So if you ask AI to do it, it knows to separate them. So if you change the name of this navigation section to side navigation section.
This one or this one?
Yeah, the second one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I could. You want me to change? Just change it?
Yeah, just
here,
something
like,
more unique than navigation section.
Okay.
Cool. And so now if you go, yeah, that's good. And if you go onto the second page now and ask the AI to add sidebar navigation section.
Should I create a new thing, like the new
yes,
plus,
please,
or
yeah.
like a new? Okay, so. Okay. We're asking it to generate it, right?
Add it. So there's if you say generate, that usually implies that you want to create a brand new thing, whereas what we want to do is already existing. So we just want to add it in. I think, did you call it sidebar navigation? I forgot now.
Yeah, I believe so.
You may need to refresh.
Sidebar navigation.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is it case sensitive, or can I just leave it?
It's probably best to be case sensitive just to make sure. And then put section afterwards.
Should I say to this page or just leave it at this?
To this page, I think would be good, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I can, if this works, I could just pretty much rinse repeat for every other page, right?
Exactly, yeah. If it doesn't work, we would then might have to manually add it to this page. But then when you do this exact same process for the other pages, it should definitely work.
Okay.
But we'll see. Cool.
All right. Awesome.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
No worries at all. Glad we could help.
Awesome.
Super. Right. Cheers, man.
Super.
Right. Next in the list was Steve, I believe. So we shall jump over to Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to share my screen so you can guys see what I'm trying to do. You're seeing, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So basically I have like this collection from Superbase where I have like an address and also some kind of description here. And what I need to do is try to filter that collection based on these two inputs here that I have. So when the user puts like any city here or any word here, the filter is going to basically change these results, right? But my question is that when I go to the filter here, and for example, addresses, that is the object that contains the city, it's only letting me like it's empty and it's not empty. But if I go here and I go to the filters and I have like this contains, that is basically the one that I need to try to create the experience that I want. Because if you see here, the addresses have like this key called city, that is the one that I need to filter based on the input from the user here. So yeah, basically that's my question. Not sure if you understand. Trying to access this nested object here in the filters for the collection.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the issue here is that it's not feasible like this with Superbase. At least with those no-code filters. So unfortunately, so just to be sure, could you show me, just by staying here, could you untoggle formatted at the top, the data? Just need to check something.
Sorry,
yeah,
where?
So you can close the filter. Just
Okay.
click on filters.
Okay.
Yeah, remove this one. And yeah, stay here. Can you click on the toggle at the top? you've got formatted. Yes, this one.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, you might need to scroll a bit. And can you show me addresses?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a known issue with Supabase. It's quite hard to filter with linked object like this.
Okay.
Give me just 1 sec to give you the best way to do this.
Yep. Yeah, I was reading in the community that this is something that many people have problems with.
Yeah. So you have multiple ways to do that. I might need to test something. Because you already have many filters, right? In here.
Yeah. Yeah, you have some filters that are mostly for numbers and other stuff. Yeah, like this one.
And I guess you do need to do this on the backend side, right?
Yep. But
so we can, yeah. So we're gonna have to do it in another way. Maybe the best one in the end would be to create an edge function for this.
okay.
So you have 2 ways. You can create views, in Supabase. You can create CQL function. So if you go to backend, to the backend tab at the top.
Okay.
So in here you've got your tables. Then you've got functions. So functions are SQL functions. So you could create a SQL function just for this and giving some inputs to do it. But I think it's not easy to maintain. But what you can do is if you click on API, it's going to be renamed logic in here. Oh, okay, you already have many of them.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Oh, so you know that. So I guess maybe for this one, the easiest would be to create a dedicated edge function for this.
Okay.
And so what you would do is at page load. Have you ever created a workflow on page load?
Yeah.
So on page load, you invoke this function and you save the value into a variable, and then you bind your list to that variable.
Okay.
And so you're gonna have to, in the input, bind all your filters to your to give it as input to your edge function. So it's a bit more work, but with this you will be really able to do anything you like with those filtering in depth.
Okay, I will have to experiment a little bit because the issue is that this for sale toggle controls that when it's turned on, we have the information, right? We have this information in the backend. When this is turned on, and the user types a city and an industry and they click search, we do some web scraping to bring some results here. But I will try to work with the expansion. Thanks, Flo.
You're welcome. And just one other way to do it, one last one, is to create a view on Supabase. So it would be exactly the same, but instead of having addresses, as an object, you would create a column just for what you wish to filter.
Okay.
So you would flatten the object.
Yeah.
So it would be exactly the same one, but instead of having addresses, you would turn what's in addresses into many columns,
Yep.
And so you create a view for this, and then you change just your collection here. Instead of looking for the table organization, you would look for organizations underscore with addresses, something like this. So it would look like another table in your Supabase. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe it would be a more elegant way to do it. So just a view for with all the columns you need to then do your filters, and so you could do it like this instead of using an edge function. Maybe it would be better to do it like this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Cool. Moving right along, next in the list was Jill. So we shall move over to Jill. Hello, Jill.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. Okay. I'm going to ask a couple questions. Hopefully they're easy.
Okay.
So I guess my first question is, do you have any insight as to why this data grid is not formatting correctly?
In what sense?
In the sense that it doesn't look right. It should be like higher up, like more vertically spaced, and like there's just no formatting on it at all.
What is it? Are you trying to like achieve more space between the icons in the first column, or?
Like sometimes it styles and sometimes it doesn't. So the styling's just not applying to the data grid, and I'm trying to figure out why. Like, is there something in my account that's like, have you seen when you add a new data grid to a different project?
No, could you give us an example? Or like an example of the styling issue?
So no styles are applying to this data grid.
So if
At
you
all.
change the background color, oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a bug, it seems.
Right. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I was, just to give you a little bit of backstory, I was having trouble with these data grids because I had the Snappy AG grid installed, but I got that uninstalled and I had them remove all the lingering pieces and parts. But I feel like maybe there's something still lingering from that.
So that's possible. That's possible that you. So maybe you created another. Yeah.
So there was stuff in here that got cleaned out by your team.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like maybe there's something else that's like lingering that needs to get cleaned out by your team, like some CSS thing.
You were the one with the infinite loop and the data grid?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard about this in the team.
Hi, it was me.
Okay, so yeah, indeed you had a dependency, and yeah, we learned something with you. so yeah, indeed the data grid was using something it should not because of this dependency you added.
Yeah. So
indeed you might have something else installed.
So like maybe you guys know like if there's like a CSS thing in here that shouldn't be. I don't know.
It would take a while to check out right now in here. I think we need to have the tech team to take a look to see if there is another dependency. Oh, we had something here. It moved. Yeah, but we definitely need to take a look ourselves.
Okay.
Within it to find out where is this this library causing this issue.
Okay. So should I open a ticket for that?
Yes, please. Could you create a ticket, and so the tech team could take a look again and find out why you have this issue.
Okay. And then my other question, which hopefully is super quick. So for some reason, when I am clicking this guy here, it's doing everything it's supposed to do, but the data grid isn't reloading. See how this is supposed to be like making it active and inactive? So I cannot figure out why this data grid is not reloading. And it's working on all my other pages, so I can go in here and show you what I'm doing.
So yeah, we need a bit more details on what it's doing. Yeah. Okay.
So it's calling the patch, and then it's refetching.
You fetch again a collection here. Okay, and then you said that it was not refetching. So could you show us the I suppose the formula on your eye icon? So it could be gray just to see.
Which one?
Your eye icon. Could you select it? Yeah, this one. And I need to, and yes, could you show us the color property?
Oh, this is actually, so I'm just showing and hiding two different icons.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Using this thing here.
And .row .status. Okay, I just need to see, could you open row in here? Oh, sorry, could you open it again?
Yeah.
The display, no, the formula? Yeah, and below, yeah, could you show us just the values of row? Yeah. Status inactive, and you're saying that when you click on it, could you click on the second eye icon?
Oh. Wait, do I have this backwards? What is happening? Wait, what do you want me to do?
To do it again on another icon, so we could see what is not refetching.
I don't think I can do that.
Why not? If you click preview again.
Like close
I
this?
just want to reproduce again your issue to understand what's going on. So could you click preview and click again the eye icon? Just on preview. Not that one. Could you click the preview button really at the top?
I'm sorry. This one?
Yes. No worries. And so could you click the second one? Yes, this one. So you are saying that in here, this one should change the status, right?
Yeah. And I think the data is happening. Like I feel like the functionality is happening. It's just not reloading the data.
Okay. Don't. So in here, if you reload, the second one should be gray, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. Can you do it? Okay, super. Could you open the data grid again? The on edit mode.
This one?
Yeah. Perfect. Select the data grid, and now I need to see the settings of the data grid. So could you go? Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. Could you click data? Okay, and it's get knowledge base underscore categories the data. Okay, and could you again click on icon and show me the workflow again?
Okay.
Okay, so let's try something. Could you click preview at the top? Could you click the third icon? Okay, super. Pass. Okay, start fetching collection. Okay, so now don't reload. Can you click on preview so we can go to the edit mode? Could you click on the icon again? So yeah, the active one, perfect. Can you click on this? And this one has been, so if you click test now in here. Oh, I get it. I think I get it. Okay, can you close this? And no, it's not. So this is weird. Can you go to data on the left? Yeah, perfect. Can you click the three dot icons here? You've got, yeah, this one. Can you click fetch? Okay, can you display the, yeah, click here. So this is weird because when we update the collection manually, you see it's not in here.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't have a collection with the same name somewhere?
No.
Out of curiosity, Jill, if you open up the data on the right-hand side, so what you've got the data grid bound to, and you open up the third object, what's the status of it? So the third object down. No, sorry, in the value you're returning. Yeah, if you open up the one above this.
The status is active.
Oh, whoa.
No, the third one is still active.
Inactive?
It's like
inactive. It's inactive. It's just not refreshing the grid for some reason. Maybe it's all related.
Can you click on the collection again?
Here?
Yes. This one. Can you open advanced in fetch data? Yes, in
This
here.
one?
Don't fetch. The one below you've got advanced, yeah.
Oh, maybe is that the problem?
Well, it shouldn't be the case because you are refetching. Because Zano is resending those data. When you do refetch, a code is done, and Zano is sending this. I don't understand why. Do you have some cache or something on Zano?
I don't
No,
think
that
so.
you know of.
No.
Would it be useful to check, Flo, maybe if you were to turn like the conditional rendering off, then back on, if it actually refreshed it? Would that be useful at all?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
no, it won't, because in the data you see in here.
the problem
sorry, Jill. Could you go back to the collection on the left?
Oh, this one?
Yes, this one. And could you select the yes, the one with the ID 3? Or just can you toggle off formatted at the top?
It's this one. Oh, take this off?
Yes. Okay, can you open the third one? The ID 3, sorry, the fourth one. Oh no, this one, yeah. I know you're right, it's inactive. No, I'm wrong. So you're right.
This is correct.
This is correct, yes. And
out of curiosity, Joe, if you were to, so if you come off this screen, so you just go onto the editor, and then if you were to scroll to on the right hand side, if you scroll to the bottom to like the conditional rendering, if you turn it off, then back on, just to see if it updates. Yeah, okay, it did update.
Wait, so I tried it. That's all we had to do. No.
So indeed, it's a bug. So when you have a custom cell and you are fetching the collection, the cell is not re-rendered.
It's working other places. Like if I go into, my other, this one. Oh, jeez. Review. I mean, you can see I'm having like all kinds of, right? Isn't that weird? It's like working.
So there's definitely something with your data grid. I will try to reproduce the issue.
I could just start over.
No, but okay, Jill. I think we won't be able to fix it right now. We really need to check out if this is an issue with the data grid for everyone. So I will try to reproduce it now that we figured out where is the issue.
Okay.
And if I cannot, I will try to reproduce it on your project.
Okay.
And so if it's not working on the project and not on mine, it means that we definitely have some things that we need to figure out on your project. That is basically breaking the data grid.
Okay. So another ticket?
Yeah, you can create another ticket for this. Really put OH between brackets in the title of the ticket.
Okay.
So
OH?
yeah, OH, like office hours. So I could follow up with the team.
Okay, I will do that. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Super. Cheers, Jill. Right, and then lastly, we shall switch over to Jamie because I know he's been waiting a very long time. Hey, Jamie, are you with us?
Hello.
Good. How are you?
How you guys
Thanks
doing?
for waiting so long.
Great. Thanks for hosting this. This hopefully is an easy one. I'm just having a difficult time originating dynamic URLs. So I've created here just a sandbox here. This is fake data that you guys have formulated in a data grid, and page 2 is the details of that. How do you create dynamic URLs for each of the items in the data grid? Obviously, I'm having a difficult time going from here to binding the text elements to the respective ID number. So can you help me with that?
So it seems like you're along the right kind of lines. You already have a custom URL path set up, right? Yeah. So would you probably, for the parameter, it's useful to give it a different name. So is there some kind of unique identifier you want to be in the path? Like, yeah.
Can we just use ID?
Yeah, sure thing. So if you go back to your details page, in the settings of it for the URL, if you change on the parameters, if you just change this to ID, just so we have a better identifier in the editor.
Okay.
And so now if you switch back to your homepage with your data grid, you'll probably need an action button for this to work properly. So if you click onto the data grid and you add, or maybe you do actually, sorry, if you scroll to the very far right of the data grid, you might already have an actions button on the far right. No, okay, cool. Sorry, if you put it back into edit mode and click on the data grid, if you go into the settings, so where you can change the columns, if you add a column, can be wherever you like, it will be basically the view button, and you change, column 6, the one you've added, you expand it. Yeah.
This one.
You can give it, it actually, no name is good because it won't have a name, it will just be an action. So if you leave the header name blank and change the type to action, and then we probably want to give it a name. So just at the bottom here, there's an action name and an action label. Action name will basically like populate the button. So whatever you want the button to be. So maybe view or go to, something like that. And then the label, we can just call it view basically, lowercase or whatever works. Yes, and I just want to make sure I haven't got this the other way around. So if you put it into preview and scroll to the far right so we can see the action button, I just want to make sure I've got it the right way around where the name is the, okay, sorry, I've done the wrong way around. It's the other way around, yeah. Would you mind swapping them?
Mm-hmm.
Super, thank you. And so now the last step of this is if you put it back into edit mode and you go into the workflows tab, so the lightning bolt in the top right hand corner, if you create a new workflow, and for the, we've already got it set to on action, okay, cool. So on action, and if you add an action here, you could say navigate to. You could choose your page, so the details page. And because you set up that parameter, it's already in here. And so you could bind this. And in, again, the lightning bolt tab of the, if you open up event, you have access to the rows data. And so you could bind it to be the ID. And so now, whenever you, if you could, yeah, let's do it now. So if you were to press this button, you're brought to this page. And just to show you how it could work in context, if you go back into edit mode, if you click onto anything, so if you click onto the text here, the wireless headphones, if you go onto your text binding, we're not actually going to bind anything here, just to show you the data available. You can see you have the ID here. What you could then do is set up some kind of fetch of a collection. So you could say on page load, you could fetch a collection and get the details of the product with that ID. Or if you already have the collection, because it's preserved on navigation, you could just filter the collection to only get that, the data of the item with that ID, and then display the detailed information here, if that makes sense.
I understand navigating from the data grid on page click because you're preserving that variable on this page. But will this create a new URL with this unique identifier?
Yeah. So if you were to, if you wanted to, you could publish and you could test it in the live project.
Yeah.
And whenever you try it in the live project, you'll see the URL changes to have the ID at the end.
Okay.
In here, for example, for your tests, you can just type in plus in the formula here.
Right here?
Yeah, plus and add the ID. You can click on ID below. No, not like this. Really, yeah, here. Okay, super. And if you click preview here, it was 15, or maybe it was 15. Couldn't check.
Come back here. Maybe the fake data 0 index. So that's my problem here, I think. Data grid fix.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, no, no, that's why. Because it you need to click the orange one.
Say again, please.
The ID, but the orange one. But can you remove, for example, everything here?
Yeah.
And just click on the ID from the path. Yes, here. Current ID, and it should be 3. If you close this.
Close this, you said?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, and if you deploy this, for example, and you try your data grid, you will see that in the URL you're gonna have a query ID equals 3.
Okay.
And so then you can reach out to that page directly, and you will have this value. But like Matthew said, the best practice is to create a collection for this, filtered on that ID, and on page load. You use you use that collection. So you create a collection, you filter that collection on that ID, and then you bind to that collection. So anytime you go to any page, it will load that collection filtered on that ID, and then you can display anything.
So let's pretend I had a collection loaded on ID 3. How would I display the text for that collection filtered for ID 3? What's the formula for that?
So there's 2 ways you could go about it. One would be if you simply had a collection that could return a single object. So the sole purpose of the collection was to return the one thing you want to display on this page. Then you could just have that collection set up. And whenever you create the collection, in the parameters you send to that API endpoint to get the data, you could just pass in the ID and you wouldn't have to do anything. You could just use the data from the collection. But if you were using a list of information, like I think you are currently, we could do it now quickly. So if you open up the formulas on the right-hand side, so on this menu, on the very bottom where there's 3 tabs. So you're currently in the first tab. If you open up the 3rd tab and open up array, there's a filter by key option. So you could put that in. And basically how this works is you put in your array, then you put in the key you want to filter by, then you put in the value you want to filter that key by. So first we'll put in your array. So do you know what collection or?
I think it was called fake data.
Cool. We can use it for now then. So if you go back into the first tab on this menu.
First tab on the menu.
Yeah, the one you've got your mouse on. That one, yeah. And if you find the fake data variable, yeah. So if you pass in fake data here as the first thing in the formula, and now after the comma, if you put speech mark ID, then another speech mark, then another comma. And if you now drag your ID parameter to be the last thing, so after the comma, it doesn't return. Could you open up the fake data? Sorry, no, in the data grid. Could you just open this up? Okay.
It's AG capital.
What if can I delete that and then click? No.
No, it's if you put the ID and speech marks again, we'll do one thing to try this, and if not, I'll send you a link to the docs where I think it should make sense then. If you, after this comma, if you go back to the formula menu, so yes, if you open up math, and before you click on anything, if you click on the comma after ID, so we're going to put something after, exactly there, just after it. If you click on to number in the maths formulas,
to number,
and then you put your ID inside that to number formula, because right now I think it's the page parameter. No, sorry. If you delete that, your current page parameter, if you drag that into be inside of the to number brackets. No. Okay, there you go. Yes. Okay, there we go. And so now you could put this is quite complex, but if you at the end, if you put in square bracket 0, so at the end of this formula, do square brackets, and then inside it exactly, now you have access to the data. So whenever you pass the ID as a URL, I think it's always text. So if you're using it as a number in that way, you have to convert it to text to work in certain to a number, sorry, to make it work in certain formulas.
Got it. So this says filter by what's the array that I'm going to filter on, what's the key,
and then what's the value of that key?
Value in a number form.
Exactly. And if you're ever unsure, if you hover over the formula, so if you hover over filter by key, it'll tell you what the formula does, and at the bottom the input it expects.
And dumb question. So what's the parentheses 0 at the end showing?
That's the index. So because you're filtering an array, it returns you an array, even though it's only returning one object. Because you're still telling it to return an array, it will return you an array, but just a single object inside of an array. And so when you do square brackets and then a number inside those square brackets, you're telling it which index to return. So here we're just saying, give me the first item. Arrays start at 0, which is why it's 0, but you're basically just saying, give me the first item.
Okay. Cool. I think that clears it up for me. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Glad we could help.
Yeah.
And I'll put if you need any further help, I'll put a link to our documentation in the chat.
Please. I for whatever reason just had a brain cramp on some of that stuff and couldn't quite get it to here. So I appreciate your help, and thank you very much.
No worries.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
You're welcome. And maybe before leaving, I could answer Giovanni questions.
Yes.
About
So the first one, could you tell me a little bit about how the change in the organization of global workflows will be? Will they be actions? That's been a big question.
How do you know this? So what I can tell you, yeah. So basically, yeah, when you're going to create global workflows, you're gonna see those workflows in the list of actions. You won't have to necessarily use the execute global workflow action and then select your global workflow. You're gonna have a shortcut. So all your global workflows will be displayed as actions. So indeed, then we had an internal discussion about renaming global actions into actions. So it won't be the case first, but I'm glad you asked. But it will be the same. It won't change your flows. It's really more shortcuts. But yeah, global workflows are like actions because they are used as actions.
And then he had another question after that around Supabase. How do we store the Supabase service role in a way so that it's not exposed to the front end?
So it's never on the front end because this service role is only used by the editor only. So it won't be published at all. And it's saved into our server. So really it's never on any front end at all. So basically, when you are using Supabase within the editor, the call goes to our server, and then we are looking for the key you saved, and then we make a call to Supabase. So our server is like a proxy. So your keys are never on any front ends. And then when you publish, you don't have at all admin functions on your published app. It's only the Supabase SDK that is used. And so it's the public one, the front end one, not the one that is using the service role.
Super. Thank you, Flo. Right. I think that is us then for this week of Office Hours. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining. There was a lot of questions this week. And thank you, as always, Flo, for joining me.
Thank you, Matthew, for hosting this call.
Right. Thank you ever so much, everyone. We shall see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.